everybody, Nikki Burnett here with Taste Like Nutrition, Functional Nutritionist. I'm with Gabrielle Grandell. Also, you got to tell all of your certifications. So you say what you are. You're loaded with them.
Thanks, Nikki. Glad to be with you all today. So Nikki and I are both, I'm getting a little unstable internet connection. I'm hoping that I'm coming through, and we're trying to do this on Instagram Live at the same time.
We're on Instagram as well, but
just bear with us.
Online. Yeah, sorry.
Hi, everyone. Okay, we're still newbies at this, but we're trying to get a hang of it. So my background is as a dietitian, and Nikki and I are both functional medicine nutritionists. So we have a specialty and focus in that arena, and I also have a couple of other certifications as a certified LEAP therapist, which is focusing around food sensitivities and helping people with meal plans related to that, as well as a functional medicine certified health coach. What are you doing? What's that?
I'm putting it on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I could try to do that whenever it's time for you to talk. So a functional medicine certified health coach as well. So that was through the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, and that's in collaboration with the IFM, or the Institute for Functional Medicine. And I went on to be national board certified as well as a health and wellness coach.
Awesome.
And I work with Nikki in partnership with her clients, and she'll tell you a little bit more about what she does. And I help her clients to put into place the protocols that she's made for them, helping them kind of from a more of a emotional, mental aspect, doing the things and holding that space for them to make those changes.
Perfect. Thanks. Okay, so we are getting this together very slowly, but gosh, lots of people in here. Hey, everybody. Okay, so yes, so as a functional nutritionist, the way that I work with my clients on, looking at essentially the root cause. We want to find the root cause of what people are dealing with, right? So if it's gut issues, if it's autoimmune disease, if it's, pain and inflammatory conditions, these are the things that they're not normal, they're not natural. It's not like we're just getting old, which makes me crazy. I'm just getting old, so I have joint pain. Or I am, just breaking down because it's genetics, things like that. It's just not the case, right? So we all have things that we deal with, but what we need to understand is this is our body talking to us. It's speaking to us and telling us, hey, it's kind of knocking on the door. Something's going on, and we need to understand what that something is. So we look at the root cause of whatever that is. So what is that? What could that be? It could be stress, lack of sleep, lack of movement. It could be infection. It can be obviously food. We are nutritionists. We should probably talk about food.
It's a big player.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And so these are the things that we look at, and then together we work with my clients on a little bit of a different level. She has an amazing amount of knowledge, but what she loves, which I love that she loves, is the mental and emotional aspect of the daily change and the support and that kind of thing. So we work as a team together, and we have a ton of fun, and we consult on clients together. And so with that, we decided we wanted to put together what we call Functional Friday. So if you haven't seen this already, we're doing it once a month. It's on the first Friday. Today's the first Friday. I can't believe it's April. I am in Denver and Gabrielle's in Dallas. So it's not that we're social distancing, but we have to because we're so far away.
Yeah.
But if she was here, we would do the right thing. Anyway, so what we want to do, we know that everybody's probably, up to here with, talking about COVID-19. And so we want to, I think the goal here is really to talk about boosting the immune system, understanding what it takes to boost your immune system, to have a healthy immune system. And I think what's really important to understand about the immune system and about the way the body functions is, it's like a seatbelt, right? So we have to put our seatbelts on every time we get in the car in case we have an accident. We can't put our seatbelts on in the middle of an accident or after an accident and assume it's going to keep us safe. So this is our immune system. So our immune system, we have to protect it. We have to care for it. We have to feed our microbiome. We have to do all of these things in order that it protects us when things like COVID-19, flu, cold, cancer, all of these things happen. We have to be able to fight it off. And so that's really, I think, a big part of our focus. Agreed?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so everybody over here on Instagram, I've had some people join. I don't know if you're still there or not. I think some of you have hopped off. We're trying to kind of live stream this, both Facebook Live and Instagram. So apologies if I can't say hi to you or make a comment directly. But can somebody that's on, maybe can you let me know if you can hear Nikki talking as well, or if it's just looking at me sitting here?
You're our guinea pigs.
So is anybody, maybe I don't have anybody on anymore. Doesn't look like I have anybody there. Do you have anybody on yours, Nikki, on your Instagram?
Yeah, I do. If any, let's see. Yeah, it looks like there are a few people on, so I'm waving back at you. Hey guys, so if you can see and hear Gabrielle, then that would be awesome. Then let me know. Otherwise, hello. Otherwise, we're just going to keep talking. So we just got to keep going anyway.
We'll just work on it. Okay.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. So the idea today was, just to help everybody to think about some nutrition, lifestyle tips that they could put in place to help boost their immune system and keep it strong and healthy. Okay. So this person says, hi, Cammie at Capture. She says, I can hear you, but I cannot hear the other person. Okay. So, all right. Well, I don't know how to remedy that, but
it's fun.
We're just going to try to do our best here.
Getting the information out there. So, we do the best that we can.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So, I think first off, we want to talk about, I think a couple of things that I want to hit on. For one is the immune system and what comprises the immune system. And there are a lot of things that do, but the bulk, I think one of the most important things for us to really understand is that our microbiome is upwards of 70% of our immune system, right? And so it's really important. It's one of the things that I think we all say in, the functional world is we're just bug carriers. That's really all we are. Our gut health, our physical health has a huge part to do with the health of our microbiome. Our mental and emotional health is a huge part of our microbiome. And if our bugs are happy, we're happy. If our bugs are not happy, we're not happy. Right. And so it's really important to understand that is a huge part of what we need to do on a regular basis is to support the microbiome.
Yep, I would totally agree.
And so ways we can do that are going to be, good, healthy foods. And the key to this, huge, important piece of this, the larger the variety of your vegetable intake or your fruit intake, the wider the variety, your microbiome. And so with that said, I have a lot of people who come to me and say, I eat broccoli and chicken and rice, and that's it because those are the healthy things that I'm supposed to eat. And it's just not the case. It's not true. We need a wide variety of vegetables. We need some meat, we need some fat, but we have to have lots and lots and lots of plant foods in order to create a good, healthy, diverse microbiome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would totally agree, and no one food, while it might be nutritious, is good for everyone. I'm going to try to be better about doing that. So I think that's important. We just to understand that we are all individuals. We are all very unique. Our biochemistry, our genetics, who is living inside of us, to Nikki's point, is really important. And we've got to try to, accommodate for that. And we have a much better chance of doing that the more variety that we consume. and not getting stuck on, like, broccoli is a very healthful food. There's a lot of nutritious components to that, but it may not be the situation if somebody has, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, for example, or a food sensitivity around that. So,
right.
Very key.
Yeah. We have to understand who we are, what we are, why we are, which is why we do what we do, right? Because perfect. So, but this is our specialty. So we want to understand you by running labs, by looking at your symptoms, by understanding your lifestyle, your needs, your goals. And we do all of this in order to help you best understand how to build, to rebuild, to repair. And all of this is your immune health, right? And I think that it's important for us also to go back, because there's a lot of misinformation about COVID-19. There's some really great information out there, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. But one of the things is that there's something out there going around saying elderberry is bad. Do not take elderberry with COVID-19. And this is, I think, it's not the right way to look at building the immune system. What we want to do is, again, it's like the seatbelt. We want to build our immune system. And elderberry, there's a lot of really great data behind elderberry. But the key factor is if you're in respiratory distress, if you are in active state of infection, that's not the time to start doing it, because then what can happen to start, really focusing on your immune system, because then what happens is you have what's called a cytokine storm, what can happen, and that can make things just a lot worse. And so you have the storm going on in your body, they're inflammatory cytokines, and they just create what, the distress that you're already in just makes it that much worse. So if you're home and you're healthy, at this point, this is the time to focus on your immune system, which that's where most of us are. Most of us are at home and most of us are healthy. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Gabrielle.
No, I think that's a good point. So specific tools for specific times, right? So elderberry, as an example, and echinacea and some of these other things can be very helpful at the right time. So maybe more, and that's how we should think about all supplementation and all of these things, because again, what works for one person doesn't always work for the next. And so there are some caveats here when it comes to prevention versus active inflammation. So while we might use elderberry, just going off that example, in the preventative stage, if someone has active infection or viral load, a lot of inflammation, we may want to switch gears to something different that focuses on, like, lowering fever and expelling mucus and things of that nature. So we wanted to just kind of really just talk about getting back to the basics and what are some foundational things that you can do every day to help yourself to fight off, anything that might come your way. And so, of course, nutrition is a big foundational piece of this. And so that's when Nikki was talking about, eating a wide variety of plants. Vegetables are all stars, and we really want to focus there, but fruits and nuts and seeds and legumes and herbs and all of these things have major impact on our immune health and just our overall health. And of course, the health of our microbiome. They can feed all these different microbes. And so that's really important to consider. And on that topic, maybe we'll talk about a few supplemental things as well that we can kind of explore, and then maybe go into some other lifestyle things, if you think that's a good idea, Nikki.
Yeah.
But and this is where, it's also really important to think about quality. We've got this, in my opinion, we've got this state of emergency, but a bigger state of emergency that no one's paying attention to is our dirty food and our dirty air and our dirty water. And this is what's making up, this is why so many people are sick. And it's just being more highlighted now, these kind of comorbidities or these kind of pre-existing conditions that have sort of been at play for many people. And this is just kind of highlighting it, you know? So I think that quality food is super important, and as much organic and non-genetically modified food that you can take into your system, the better. And to your point, Nikki, just the more color, the more variety, all of that's important. So if you can't afford organic and stuff like that, I get it. That's not always in the budget, but trying to restructure your budget as much as you can to put the emphasis on those things that are going to keep you well and keep you healthy and happy and living a life you deserve. There's a big connection with what we put in our body and how we feel.
Right.
So, but even if you can't afford organic and that kind of thing, or non-GMO, still eating live food. Live, real food is important. Less processed stuff, less, you know, sugar and alcohol, which I know is difficult in these times. You know,
especially right now.
Right, because we're stressed and all those things, and you know, that adds to our desire to want to have those types of foods. But maybe if we can kind of shift our focus and think about taking this time to learn how to cook, learn how to put some things together. It doesn't have to be real extravagant, you know, just maybe experimenting with the new color of food or a new vegetable that you haven't eaten before or in a while. This might be a good time to try.
Yeah, agreed. And I want to go back just a little bit and comment on something. You know, what we're seeing in this outbreak is that the people mostly affected are the elderly and those with these comorbidities. And so a lot of it's the metabolic syndrome. So what's metabolic syndrome? It's obesity, it's heart disease, and it's diabetes, right? Which sort of encompasses this metabolic syndrome. But we can also look at those, you know, any kind of stress on the body that's creating inflammation. We want to be aware of and know that this is going to weaken the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
But 95% of our diseases that we live with right now are lifestyle diseases. COVID-19 is no different. So it's adding stress to an already stressed body, and that's when there's a big problem that's being created. And there's another point too, that when we're younger, and I think there's pretty good science behind this. I don't know if it's been proven fact at this point, but I do want to throw it out there that when we're younger, when we're babies, we have lots and lots of melatonin. But as we age and, you know, obviously become that elderly population, we have less melatonin. So what they're showing is that could potentially be why the elderly population is having a problem with this virus as well. Something I want to think about that is just kind of sort of mulling around in my brain a little bit too, to kind of step it back a little bit. And this is not something that I've read. So this is just me and, you know, a little bit of knowledge in my head, but is melatonin is converted from serotonin. Serotonin, 90% of it comes from the gut, right? So that takes us back again to the microbiome, to gut health and supporting the gut in all the ways that we can, so we can support our serotonin production. Vitamin D is a huge part of serotonin production as well. And then we're able to convert that serotonin, plenty of serotonin, into melatonin. So then we're getting enough sleep and we are better able to handle when we have an insult such as COVID-19 or anything else, right? So, you know, we're talking about COVID-19 now because that's just what we're in the middle of, and everybody is in this place of fear and anxiety and stress and frustration for multiple levels, you know, whether it's the economy or it's the virus itself, right? Or there are probably many, many other concerns that are out there. But, back to what you were saying, Gabrielle, this is a time where we really can take a step back, learn to meditate if you don't already, take the time to love on yourself, to pamper yourself, to build your immune system. You're learning to do this for yourself, for your family. All of this is going to strengthen your immune system, but it's also going to strengthen your community. It's going to strengthen your family. And if we go really, really deep into this, which is kind of crazy and cool, what the data shows, if you haven't heard the term epigenetics essentially is locations on our genes that have the ability to turn on and off due to lifestyle factors. So it used to be that people would think your genetics determines your outcome essentially, and your disease state and how you pass, and family history is everything. It's not the case. We have the control over our future in a huge sense of it, right? So it's also puts accountability on us. So we have to be accountable for ourselves and for our families. And that just again, spreads into the community. But my whole point to that was what the data shows is epigenetics, once these they're called SNPs, turn on, it can show 7 generations down, which is, think about that. Think about turning on, good or bad, certain genetic potential that you see in 7 generations down. For one, it's a huge responsibility, but for 2, that should be motivation, because you're not just caring for yourself, you're caring for 7 generations down. And it just is mind blowing to me, but it's just really amazing stuff as far as I'm concerned. So,
yeah, that's a good point. We're so good at this. So I think, the takeaway for me from that is that we can be empowered, that we do have a big responsibility, to your point, but also that we have so much power and control over our life and over how we feel. And so, taking the time to try to pour into yourself, we want you to honor your feelings. And it's not, this is not, we know everybody deals with things in their own way. And it's not to say that everything needs to be, you need to be accomplishing things hand over fist, and we need to be making all these things happen right now and that kind of thing. But because I know that's not a reality necessarily for everybody at every moment of their day while they're dealing with this pandemic. But what if, we could take a step back, like you said, Nikki, and think about the things that maybe we haven't taken the time to look at or consider, and try to be more slow with ourselves, and try to do things like meditation and better nutrition and stress management and some of these other things we're going to talk about. You don't have to do them all at once, but just start putting these things in place, and you'd be amazed how good you can feel as a result, and how good you can, how much you can support your body and support yourself from an immune standpoint. So when it comes to nutrition, I wanted to just list just a couple of kind of key foods that I think are helpful when you're trying to put the emphasis on your nutrition, outside of what we've already shared, which is a variety of plant foods and the cleanest foods that we can get. A couple of things that I think are helpful to remember is incorporating turmeric and ginger. And so these are, you can do this in a variety of ways. You can get the root at the grocery store, and you can either grate it or slice it, put it on top of salads, or put it into foods. You could get ginger and steep it in hot water and make a tea. You could get the powdered ginger in the spice section, or the powdered turmeric, and put that again in dishes, in smoothies, and soups. So just wanted to point out that those have very anti-inflammatory properties. And, ginger is actually an expectorant, so it helps us with mucus production. They have all these foods have a wide variety of influential, benefits. But those are a couple of things that come to mind. Also, lemon, being a rich source of vitamin C, and lemanoids, which help produce glutathione, which is a master antioxidant and helps us to be able to detox. So what an easy thing to incorporate into lemon water, or, in a salad dressing or something of that nature, or in a smoothie. We could also think about, things like mushrooms and all of the immune boosting properties of mushrooms, and they all have different roles to play. So whether that be getting them and, again, sauteing them or adding them to a dish, or thinking about having them in a supplemental form, those are also available. There's some different mushroom kind of coffee substitutes out there too, which could be helpful. Bone broth is another thing that comes to mind. There's lots of recipes online. Nikki and I would both be happy to share any of these recipes with you. But making bone broth is very helpful and healing for the gut. And so that's something to consider. Honey, like Manuka honey specifically, coconut oil, these things have antiviral properties. Garlic's another big one. So most people really like garlic. We can put that in our dishes. Again, some of these things come in supplemental form. And if you can incorporate some of these things into your dishes, you're going to be naturally fighting off any bugs that are out there, or anything else that's getting to your immune system. Vitamin C, a lot of people have heard about, and I mentioned vitamin C a little bit in lemons, but bell pepper is actually a really rich source of vitamin C. So, could you get some bell pepper and saute that in a dish, or could you chop it up raw and have it with some hummus or something like that? I just wanted to bring home the point that there's easy ways to incorporate these foods into your daily life, and they really are nutrient powerhouses when it comes to supporting the immune system.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little, Nikki, about like some supplements maybe that would be helpful?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm happy to do it. You can do it. I'll hit on a couple, and then we'll let you hit on a couple.
Or a couple
and then,
okay.
The only thing that I want to add to that is, when it comes to the lemons, I really like to promote using the entire lemon. So if you have a Vitamix, if you have a blender where you can actually blend up all of the peel, the seeds and everything, they all have amazing nutrients in them. And when you just throw them away, you're missing a lot of that stuff. And there's, these bioflavonoids and, phytonutrients and all these things that are actually in the peel. And so it does make it, a little thicker and a little bit bitter, but add water, add a little bit of honey, use it as a base of your smoothie. I took the other day, orange, grapefruit, and lemon, and put all of them with some water in my Vitamix. And so it made a lot. So I froze some of it, but then I added some strawberries and some peaches to give it just a little touch of sweetness. And it was great. I mean, it's nice and smooth and easy. And you're getting a lot of this stuff instead of throwing it away and being wasteful, even if you're throwing it in compost, which is great too, but utilize what we have, right? Okay.
Totally.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna add, if you are gonna do that, which I think is a really great idea, make sure you buy those fruits organic if you're using the skin or the peel, right? Because that's where all the pesticides would lay.
Yeah. So you want to buy organic, but I think I would add on to that and help people understand that just because it's organic doesn't mean it's not going to have, if it's not organic, doesn't mean that the pesticides and herbicides are only sitting on the skin, because they are in the soil and taken up through the root system, and it's in every single cell of that plant. So yeah, we can wash it off, and that's probably where the bulk of the junk is, but it's still in there. So buying organic whenever you can, yeah, is really important. But yes, for sure, organic if you're doing, because you can't just wash it off is kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Good point.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into a couple of supplements. I think we already hit on elderberry, so that's a good one unless you're in respiratory distress. I have elderberry. We're just taking it. Another one, you talked about this too, but some good medicinal mushrooms I love, and I'm taking those. I'm also doing colostrum. So a regular basis doing some colostrum to boost immunoglobulins. And then zinc is, it's been proven to shorten the duration of colds and flus and that kind of thing. So a lot of this we're taking from what we already know about problems that we know we have, right? Colds and flus and those things. And we're laying them on top of, there's a word I'm looking for and it's not working for me. But this COVID-19, and we can assume without a lot of data that these are going to be beneficial, but there's still just a lot of stuff that we don't know. So I will let you go from there.
Yeah, I don't have a lot more to add outside of good old vitamin C, which I've kind of touched on in a couple of foods. There's a little controversy on vitamin A and vitamin D right now, typically are very beneficial for immune function. But again, because we don't quite understand everything that's going on, I think the way to approach this is to do lower doses of vitamin A and D versus some of the higher doses that one might think. Oftentimes, if someone is looking for immune support, they might take, say, 10,000 units of vitamin D. Well, that might be, counterindicated in a situation like this. So we need to, the best way to go after this is, actually, I should turn this back around on me, huh? The best way to go after this is to know what your vitamin D level is and have that measured via blood, which is a little bit challenging now since, we're not doing elective procedures and things of that nature. But just in general, to know what your vitamin D level is a good thing. Also, to know if you maybe invest in some genetic testing so you know whether or not you actually absorb and metabolize these nutrients like vitamin A and vitamin D, because some folks don't do a good job of that or that kind of thing. But some kind of fat soluble supplement that contains A, D, E, and K is probably a good choice in lower doses, around 2,000 or 3,000 units a day, depending on, again, your blood levels. And we're not making any claims here. This is not medical advice. This is just for education purposes. Want to be really clear about that. But those are some supplemental things that I think about. I would also think about quercetin as a natural antioxidant, which is found a food source that's rich in that is apples. But there are some antihistamine-like supplemental products that would contain that. And then I think about what's called NAC, or N-acetylcysteine, which is a precursor for an antioxidant called glutathione, which I referenced a little bit earlier. And it's these are very helpful from an antioxidant standpoint and detoxification standpoint. So those would be some things to look at. And if you're interested in any of these supplements, both Mickey and I have resources for online stores where you can talk to us and we can figure out how to get these things shipped to you. So feel free to reach out about that. Moving on to another thing that's really important is water, right? And hydration. So staying hydrated is super important because, over 60% of our body is made of water. And so it's obviously very critical to homeostasis and balance in the body. And we could have a whole nother, segment about quality water and that kind of thing, but just try to stay hydrated. And I think a good rule of thumb is about half your body weight in ounces as a minimum. And that can come in the form of these teas and things like that we're talking about as well. But we really want to stay hydrated. On the topic of water, I have just a couple other ideas. Cold showers. So cold showers can also really boost our immune system. A lot of people have heard about like cryotherapy and things like that. And the idea behind the cold showers, is that it helps to boost natural killer cells, which are a form of lymphocytes or white blood cells from our immune system. And so the more of those that we can have helping us fight things off, the better. And it's also good for cortisol balancing and things. But so the idea being like you take a hot shower and then the last 10 minutes or something, as much as you can stand, it's hard to get into, but you take a cold shower. And some people even do ice baths and things like that. I'm not there yet, but
I know.
but cold showers can be helpful, and so can hot showers or hot Epsom salt baths. So there's a lot of benefit in the Epsom salts because of the magnesium component, but this is, this is another thing that can be helpful for our immune system, is actually elevating our core body temperature. So if you had like access to a sauna or something, that would be great, but not everybody has that, and a lot of them are closed down right now. But so taking a hot bath or a hot shower can be really helpful. So that's what I got about water.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. So we're gonna wrap up here. I have another call that I need to get on, but there are a couple of things. There was one point, and I can't remember what it was now, that I was going to make. But I want to kind of do a quick, shameless plug, if that's okay. Is that all of this immune stuff that we're talking about has sort of jumped into. So I have, my whole point of this, I have partners who we have created a course that we're just getting started to help to boost the immune system, and it's obviously virtual. And it's starting on Monday, but it's one that we're planning to create it where we can do a rolling, people can continue to join where they want to join, or where they, in the beginning, even if, others have already joined and been in it, several weeks. So the first week of it is free. And then we move into a really deep dive, intensive version of this immune boosting program. And it's really a self-care, self-love, self-discovery, understanding your body and your body's needs kind of program, and then how to build your immune system on top of that. So you can go to my website, tastelikenutrition.com, and it's all over there. You'll see that there are some posts, and you just click on, it'll take you to a landing page where you can sign up if that's what you want to do. Feel free to reach out if you have questions about it. So we're getting that started. We've started enrolling people. And we're doing that's what I have to do after this, is we're doing a Facebook Live inside of the group, just to kind of get, talk to people about what we're doing. But that's something that will remain in the group and that we'll continue to build on as we move through the program. So wanted to throw that out there for anybody who really wants to jump in and get serious about boosting the immune system for not just this virus, but it's a life, right? This is our life that we need to take care of, because we're taking care of family and people, and we need to take care of ourselves. So is there anything that you want to add with that?
Yeah, I'm realizing that the time is flying by. I had a couple other points. I'm just going to hit them real quick. We're not going to have time to go through them, it looks like, but exercise, sleep, sunshine when you can, grounding to the earth, all of these things are really, really helpful for immune function. And, you know, please reach out if you'd like to talk about these things more. We're both here to help support you in any of that. You can find us, you can find me at livingwelldallas.com. My email is Gabrielle, Gabrielle, at livingwelldallas.com, or you can call 972-930-0260. And I do free 15-20 minute phone consultations to see if it's a good fit for you. We also both have social media accounts. Mine is Gabrielle Grandell on LinkedIn, and here on Facebook and here on Instagram.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Same.
Yep.
So Taste Life Nutrition website, Facebook, Instagram. Well, I think Instagram and Twitter are Taste Life Nut. I don't like that. But yeah, so yeah, reach out to us if you have any questions. You can post here, whatever it is that that you need from us. We're here to support you, you know, throughout this time, but also, you know, as we move forward, because things will get back to normal. And you know, we're here to just love on you and have some fun with it. So thank you. And thank you, Gabrielle. And
every Friday, just as a reminder, we do these the first Friday of every month, Functional Fridays, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, which I believe is 11 Mountain Time.
11 Mountain
right?
Time. Yep. On Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. On the first Friday of every month. So we hope to see you next time. If you have any topics you'd like us to cover, please shoot us a message or give us a call and let us know. Because like Nikki said, we're here to love on you, support you, and help you have the happiest, healthiest life that you deserve. So thanks for listening, everybody.
And thanks for
care.
bearing with us as we are figuring out
Instagram.
This whole social media stuff. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. See y'all later.
Okay.
Somebody asked about Euphoria. Have you heard of Euphoria?
I have not.
No.
So I'm not sure.
But let me know what it is and we'll talk about it because I got to go to a next call. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Gabrielle.
Bye, Nikki.